Students, in last session we have learnt about importance of water as a precious resources, the problem of availability of potable water, conservational method of water. In today's session we are going to learn about natural vegetation and wildlife. Learning objectives. At the end of the session, students will be able to explain the significance of natural vegetation and wildlife, explain the role of ecosystem in the natural world, importance of scavengers in natural world, explain the factors which influence on distribution and types of natural vegetation, conservation of natural vegetation and wildlife, to create awareness towards poaching of birds and animals to adhere the environmental laws. Students, let us begin the class with a small activity. Look at this following images and tell me from where do we get these products and how they are made up of.
Ma'am, chair made out of wood. Paper made out of wood pulp. Basket made out of bamboos. Honey extracted from honeycomb.
Yes, now you got an idea. These are the products obtained from forest and which we use in our daily life.
Ma'am, what is forest?
Yes, forest is a large area which has various species of trees and plants.
Then, ma'am, what is the difference between forest and natural vegetation?
The term natural vegetation is more diverse than forest because natural vegetation includes micro and macroorganisms, mosses, grasslands which grow freely without interference of human beings. Whereas forest is an area that includes a variety of trees and flora, include different types of fruits, flowers and trees.
Ma'am, what is wildlife?
Yes, these are living organisms from micro to macroorganisms which survive in their own natural habitat. For example, microorganisms like bacteria and large animal mammal like elephant. Natural vegetation and wildlife exist only between narrow zone of contact of lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere that we call as biosphere.
If you look into lithosphere, the earth crust includes landforms, rock and soil. Hydrosphere, the water on the surface of the earth in oceans, rivers and lakes. Atmosphere, the thin fragile layer of gases, clouds, rain and mist that surrounds the earth. Biosphere, living matter on the earth including all plant and animal life forms.
In biosphere, all living beings are interrelated and interdependent on each other for their survival. This life supporting system is known as ecosystem.
Ma'am, can you explain little more about ecosystem?
Ecosystem is that group of living organisms that live in and interact with each other on a specific environment. For example, the relationship between deer and tiger in the ecosystem for their survival. Tiger eats deer and deer eats grass and scrub which are flourish on lithosphere. Similarly, this ecocycle of all creatures and plants are interrelated for survival. In this ecosystem context, natural vegetation and wildlife plays a very important role. Natural vegetation and wildlife are the valuable resources. Forest, they give shelter to animals, they protect soil from erosion, so that it is an essential for growing crops. Not only this, even they have number of medicinal values. There is an innumerable use of plants and it also helps in storage of underground water. Wildlife plays an important role in ecosystem. Wildlife includes animals, birds, insects and aquatic life form. Insects like bee provide honey and also helps in pollination of flowers. And some birds act as a decomposers. Students, have you heard about vultures?
Yes, ma'am. They are large-sized birds.
Yes, vultures are considered as a scavengers and vital cleansers of environment. Student, vulture in Indian subcontinent were dying of kidney failure shortly after scavenging livestock treated with diclofenac, a painkiller that is similar to aspirin. There is also efforts made to breed vulture in captivity. Students, now we will discuss about the distribution of natural vegetation. Growth and distribution of natural vegetation includes various factors like temperature, moisture and relief. These factors influence various types of vegetation. The major vegetation types of the world are grouped as forest, grassland, scrub and tundra. Forest. Forests are the large areas which have various species of trees and plants with heavy rainfall. The amount of moisture and rainfall decreases, the size and the density of the trees also reduces. Grasslands. Grassland in a region of a moderate rainfall have short stunted trees and grasses grow forming the grasslands of the world. Example, Siberian grassland. Scrubs. Scrubs are found in dry areas with less rainfall like arid region. They have thorny shrubs and scrubs grow. These plants have long rooted in search of moisture and the leaves are thorny and waxy to avoid the loss of moisture through transpiration. Tundra vegetation of cold polar regions comprises of mosses and lichens. Classification of forest in India. In India, the forests have been broadly classified into two categories, that is evergreen forest and deciduous forest, based on when they shed their leaves. Evergreen forests are those forests they will not shed their leaves throughout the year. But in contrast, deciduous forests are those forests they are going to shed their leaves in a particular season to avoid the loss of moisture through transpiration. These deciduous forests are further classified into temperate or tropical deciduous forests based on their location on different latitudes. So students, now we will discuss about conservation of natural vegetation and wildlife. Today, with the increase in population, world has to feed larger group of population. Due to this, most of the forest areas are cleared for the cultivation of crops. If this continues, there is a rapid vanishing of forest area. So, it is an emergency to conserve this valuable resources. Forests are our precious resources. Plants help us to give shelter and they maintain the ecosystem. The continuous interference of human beings can cause the damage of natural habitat for the plants and the animal. Because of loss of habitat, many species have become endangered and vulnerable. Deforestation. soil erosion, constructional activities, forest fires, landslides are some of the human-made factors which leads to the process of extinction. One of the major concerns is increasing incidence of poaching and hunting of these valuable species like tiger, lion, elephant, deer, blackbuck, crocodile, snow leopard, ostrich, peacock are poached for the collection. Illegal trade of their hides means the skin of larger animal like giraffe and elephant, while skins are those of smaller animals like reptiles. Nails, teeth, horns as well as feathers. So, there is an urgent need of conservation of these valuable species by creating awareness. National Park, wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves. These are the large areas of protected area to provide safe space for native plants and wildlife to breed and survive. Similarly, conservation of creeks, lakes and wetlands is essential to control the depletion of these resources. The use of pesticides, rapid urbanization, expansion of agriculture in protected areas are the real threat for the biodiversity. The human activities like poaching, killing of birds and animals several parts of the world. Because of human activities, many species are disturbed in the environment. Even in these species, some of them are in verge of extinction or extinct.
Ma'am, I have seen recently the forest fire in California of United States of America.
Yes, you are right. It took place in west coast of California.
Ma'am, why it happens?
It occurs mainly due to three reasons. Natural fire due to lightning, fire due to the heat generated in the litter area due to carelessness of people. Purposeful fire will be caused by the local inhabitants. There are certain precautionary measures we can take. Avoid the purposeful firing by creating awareness or educating the people. Prompt detection of fires through well coordinating network. Awareness program like Vana Mahotsava, social forestry and afforestation should be encouraged at regional and community level. We should encourage the bird watching and visiting nature camps that they should appreciate the habitat of various species. Many countries have passed laws declaring that trade as well as killing of animals and birds are illegal. An international convention cites the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, Wild Fauna and Flora has been established, and that list of several species of animals and birds in which trade is prohibited. Today, with the increase in the population, the world has to feed this population, so larger area of forest have been cleared to grow crops. The forest all over the world vanishing rapidly. So, there is urgent need to conserve this valuable resources. So, students, conservation of plant and animals is the ethical duty of every citizen. So, students, in this session we have learnt about the significance of natural vegetation and wildlife, the role of ecosystem in the natural world, importance of scavengers in the natural world, the factors which influence on distribution and types of natural vegetation, conservation of natural vegetation and wildlife, create awareness towards poaching of birds and animals and adhere the environmental laws. Thank you. Wear mask. Stay safe.